Welcome to the Chat You Up podcast. Yeah. All right. I was thinking, honestly, the other day about I never thought my life would be the way it was now when I was like a kid. You know, like when you're a kid, they're like astronaut, teacher, lawyer, doctor, four things. And if you don't get those four things, it's just like nobody thinks about anything else, honestly. Like, what am
I thought about everything else. In my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a singer, an actress, a movie star extraordinaire. I'm going to be famous. I just knew, like, I felt it in my soul I was going to be famous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my life did not pan out.
I know you've talked about before, like, you wanted to be a real housewife or like be on the reality TV shows.
Yeah, I knew for sure that I was going to be on some kind of reality TV show. I just knew it in my heart. Yeah. And I feel like if I really wanted to, I probably could. Yeah. But then I would have to find a long-time babysitter, so I'm not going to do that.
Honestly, like, you have the personality for it, though.
I feel it. I feel like I was bred to entertain, you know?
The producers would come up and be like, look, we need you to manufacture some beef between you and XYZ, and you'd be like,
I'd be on it for sure.
Like,
and I think about it all the time because, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, if we had a reality TV show, we would be so famous. But no, if me and my friend Sydney had a reality, if they just followed us when we went to our vacation in Belize, I would be famous right now. I would also be canceled that same day. I would be famous and canceled expeditiously.
I didn't have the personality to be like a reality TV star because it does take a personality. Honestly, it really does. You have to have that electric personality that draws attention to yourself in a good way, right? Or in bad ways in some cases. But I always knew I wanted to be an actress. And I remember when I was doing my acting thing when I got out of high school, it was very different than what I thought. But now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I would be a good director. I like kind of like
behind the scenes,
doing behind the scenes, like kind of like putting the stories together. And I mean, obviously I'm an author now, and I've thought about writing scripts too, about like just random different things like that I know would translate better to film than it would to books. Because I know that like a lot of people think, you know, when you have like a book to movie adaptation, they're like, oh, why isn't it exactly the same? It's like, well, it's different it's like visual media versus like media that you read, obviously. But no, yeah, I knew I wanted to be an actress. I had an inkling to wanting to be an author, and I am an author right now, but I never thought it would take the winding road it ended up to be, because like I worked as like a tutor, I worked in like a postnet, I worked as like a night shift at a La Quinta Inn, like,
which is so funny that you say that, because for some reason I went back to 2016 on my calendar, and I don't know why AT&T like merged our phones together, but I always get like your contacts or your Google Calendar stuff. So when I went back to 2016, it was like tutoring shift. I was like, when did I ever tutor anyone? I've never tutored a soul. A soul. I used to do things for money, not those things. I used to do essays for money and stuff like that, but I never tutored anyone. I was just like, you can pay me.
You know what's so funny is I used to take people's college classes for them. Like they had the online ones, and there were, I mean, the most I ever made was like $300 doing somebody's like math, because I was in like pre-calculus and stuff, and they had like geometry or something like that.
Like, oh, easy peasy.
Yeah, easy peasy money. Yeah, exactly. Trapezoid. You know, you're younger and you're aspiring whatever your dreams are you want it to be, but then you never like imagine like the way you'll end up to where you need to be. Because I kind of hate it in a way when people are like, oh, what'll be, right? Like, and it's like, well, I feel like you make it what you want to be either by manifesting, but you can't just manifest, you also have to put action to it.
It's like nobody wants to work these days.
Oh my god.
No, I completely understand, and I think that again, like your environment has a big chunk to deal with that too, because like when we were growing up, it was healthcare, right? Like our parents were big into the healthcare scene. Our dad's a nurse, our mom was a combat medic, and she went into counseling. So it was like health, mental health, you know, that aspect of it. None of it was creative arts. None of it was, I want to support you through your journey through this. It's, hey, go to college, but go to college with a plan. Here are your plans.
Feasible anymore. Like it's not feasible nowadays to go to college and immediately get a job. What we're seeing is a pivot towards people being like, okay, well, if I'm going to be broke, I'm going to be broke and have fun. I'm going to be broke and do something I like to do.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see like this rise in like indie media, whether it's people creating their own films, authors coming out of the woodwork and be like, I'm actually going to just write this book and self-publish, or like really anything. So much creativity pouring out from people who have the talent, but just not the traditional means of doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, honestly.
I think that we're definitely in an era of struggle, but the struggle is bringing about so many crazy things as far as like the arts,
Yeah.
creativity,
Community.
like community, doing what you love to do without repercussion from anyone, because now is not time to really think about doing things like, how am I going to do XYZ? Like, we have this podcast going from an iPhone. Everyone has a phone, so everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. It's not like it took a whole bunch of like brain work to do it. You know, you set up your stuff and you go.
Yeah.
That's the kind of phase we're in right now. So.
I mean, you even have like content creators who are literally giving out like niche pieces of advice based on their expertise, whether it's, oh, I'm training to be a doctor, so let's talk about whatever. And you could just do that from TikTok.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are yearning for information like that because they're not getting it from their family members, or their family members don't know. So what do I do when I don't know how to do something? I go to TikTok. I go to Reddit. I go to all these places where people just like pour out information for free. Like I don't have to take a college course to know how to set up a podcast. I don't know how to do whatever it is, but I can look on YouTube, I can look on TikTok, I can look on Reddit. And now we probably have the podcast experts, like, we could tell. And you know what? We like having fun. Like, honestly, I think that life is so short to not have joy. And what is the best thing to combat, like, horrific things happening in life is joy. Finding your way to express yourself, your pain, your emotion, your happiness, whatever it may be. And the best way to do that is through the arts. Because I also remember growing up and it was like, the creative arts is not an ideal profession. It's not a job, it's a hobby. But then I think about it, it's like, okay, well, you go and watch movies. You go into museums and look at art. You go and listen to people, you know, journalists. Like, all of these things are art forms. Every day.
You wear clothes. Fashion isn't a job. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on fashion. Where you put your money in towards fashion pieces goes into the pockets of the people creating it and then the people who are distributing it. And it kind of is like goes all the way around. There was this one guy I saw on TikTok who was playing like a cello, and he was like, y'all, we have like the internet at our fingers. Like, we could do anything we want. He was like, he pulled out a cello and he's like, 6 months ago, I didn't know what I was doing. And then he started playing a pretty decent cello. And then he was like, you know what? I want to learn how to paint. So guess what? Pulled up a YouTube video and started learning how to paint. He was like, I think sometimes people get in our own head. I know I did, where it was like waiting for someone to tell you, like almost like waiting for permission. And when you're waiting for permission, you're just staying stalemate and you're just getting miserable. And you're, you know, glued to your phone, looking at other people living these lives that you want to live, when in reality, it's like, hey, you just got to go out there.
Yeah, like at one point, they did exactly what we're doing right now, and they started a podcast from
an iPhone and someone watching from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Hey, Nico.
Nico sauce.
Hey. Sound editor right now. Hey.
But going back to, this is not what I thought I would be doing, or this is not the route that I thought I would be taking. We're sisters, obviously. Like, I know how you came to be, but I thought
I was bored.
I thought that for the longest time, and it was really just like, you know, listening to our parents and listening to like the adults around us, I thought you were going to be a lawyer for sure.
Oh my goodness.
I thought you were going to be a lawyer for sure. Like, I knew you like to
I love law.
And, I love law.
I love law. The eldest daughter being told, you talk too much, you're so dramatic. Like, you should just go be a lawyer because you just argue. You know, like, that was what I was told my entire life. Like, you should just be a lawyer because you argue. So then I was like, fine, I guess I'll go ahead and like be a lawyer. And so I actually went to like the Institute of Law and Public Affairs. I did a summer law school program. I at my college, and I got like a certificate of legal reasoning from it. And I was like, okay, I guess this is like my way of
pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing pretty good. So in my way, it was like, okay, well, I'm kind of doing what everyone kind of wants me to, but I wasn't really happy. Like, yeah, it was interesting, and I knew I was good at it, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I think that's what we see a lot, especially with, I mean, we could talk about like Latinas as well. Like, we're kind of just told like you have to be like perfect, but you also have to be perfect in a way that like represents like our culture. And you don't see in mainstream a lot, like a lot of Latinas being authors or actresses. And I'm not saying there's none. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we don't see it often. Like Alexa Demi, she's the girl from Euphoria. She was talking about how she almost wanted to quit Hollywood because there are hardly any jobs for Latinas there.
Yeah.
And it's so true. If someone like her, like absolutely gorgeous, talented, etc., is having such a difficult time, it kind of like trickles down into like the culture of like, well, can it really be me?
Yeah.
Right? Like, can I?
Like, if she can't, then
what chances do we have? And for the longest time, I carried that with me. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do like the path that everyone is telling me to do.
I knew that you like to draw and you like to, write short stories here and there. But again, I thought it was your hobby. So,
Yeah.
like, at what point did you think, like, okay, I want to take this seriously and just really go for it?
Started with the 29 panic. Right when I was going to be turning 30, I call it the 29 panic. When you're like, oh my God, I'm 29 and I have to finish all these things I want to get done with my life. And like, oh my God, 30 is like approaching. You almost have this like internal, like ticking time bomb of like, oh my God, doom, it's coming, it's coming. And so what I started doing was I was like, I always wanted to write. So I remember like any free time I had, I started writing the story of my life. And I would just like write stories that were like memories that came to me that will never see the light of day. But I started writing them, but as I was writing them, I was having this like epiphany where I was like, maybe I should go to therapy. And then I went to therapy. And then I'm talking to a therapist and I'm telling her, like, I'm just feeling so unfulfilled, all this other stuff. She asked me what I like to do. I was like, I love to write, but it's going to go nowhere. She's like, who told you that? It's like, well, there's not really, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about like publishing or books or like in terms of like, what it takes after writing it. And then it kind of dawned on me like, well, maybe I could just learn. And it goes back to the internet thing that I was talking about. Like, the internet is at your disposal. Reddit, y'all helped me out because Reddit was really where I found all the underdog authors being like helping each other out and building community. Yeah, it just started off like that, just asking questions and be like, I can do this. And then it snowballed until, again, now I have a best-selling novel, and I have 3 books in. I have 2 more books on the way this year, and
you just did it.
Just did it.
And it was done.
You did it and it was done. And then guess what? 30 passed and nothing happened.
Alive.
I'm still alive. Nothing happened. Yeah.
I'm nervous. My knees are hurting.
The knees are cracking. We can't twerk at the club like we used to.
And this is my 29 panic, this podcast. So I hope it blossoms like your book, because I started in high school just like taking advanced science classes and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I knew for sure that I either wanted to be an anesthesiologist or just something to deal with sports. I knew it from Maddie knew who she was from to college. I want to be an anesthesiologist. I major in biology, right? First year goes by and I hate it. So I switched to a kinesiology pre-physical therapy track. I love it. I joined the athletic training intern team there at my university. Loved it. It was great. I worked with the football team. I worked with the soccer team. My fiance now, he's playing football at the time, and it was just great. I loved it. And after I graduated, COVID started. So I graduated in December of 2019. COVID started a couple months later. Yeah. So it was really difficult to find myself in my early 20s. Again, it was really hard to kind of get my foot when the whole world had stopped.
Yeah.
For everyone, not just for me, but for every single person.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about 2023 where I felt like things had started kind of moving. So I did an anesthesia tech program. I was working in the OR for a little bit, and it was too cold.
Is it freezing?
I do not like the cold.
I don't like the cold either.
Yeah, the OR was so cold. I was freezing every day. Hours were great, but it was just not what I wanted to do. So I went back to physical therapy.
Yeah.
I got accepted into a program for my doctorate. I just dropped out.
Yeah.
I just dropped out. Mind you, it's not a bachelor's degree. We're talking doctorate degrees. Like, I was driving up and down from Dallas to Austin every other weekend. And it's supposed to be a 3.5 hour drive. It was taking me 5 hours. 5 hours down on a Friday, 5 hours back on a Sunday, and still having to be up before 6 a.m. to get them to school. It was rough. I called you, or I called you and Dallas, our sister, and I was just having a midlife crisis. I'm still having my midlife crisis. But
let's call it a quarter life, all right? Quarter life.
Crisis. I've been talking before that about just what do I want to do? What do I have a passion with? And I'm also like a graphic designer. I love creating crafts. I love just being in that creative realm. I love doing parties. I love making people feel like they're a part of something, or making people feel super fancy for low budget. Like, that's just stuff that I really like to do. I love creating space. I love creating beautiful things. That was like my escape from my doctorate program. Is just tapping back into my creativity. After I dropped out, I was like, I have nothing behind my name. What do I do now? And you brought back a conversation that we had a few months ago about starting a podcast, which was half a joke and half not a joke.
You and me were in a bar, and I was like, Ayana, I have this like great idea. I really think that we should do a podcast. Because for a while now, like, I'm an author, love, I love writing my books. I love like that whole aspect of it. But I have ADHD, and I love like having multiple different like passions, if that makes sense. I also love to talk as well. And I was just like, well, I love this like book side of me, but I want something for an escape for me outside of just the book realm. Like, I am an author, but I also want to be able to put something out into the world that is also me, but just a little bit adjacent, you know? And I knew that you would be the perfect person to do it, because you and me yap all the time anyway. So I was like, let's bring it in. Say, with the girl DJ.
Yeah, with the girl DJ. Oh, it was at that speakeasy in Austin.
Yes.
Love a speakeasy.
And I was like, we gotta do it.
I'm glad that you kind of pushed me to do it. Not that I needed much convincing, but it also made me realize that I can do multiple things at one time. And that I'm not just bound to physical therapy or personal training or just anything sport, strength, conditioning related. I could also be creative and have fun doing it. And I feel more fulfilled now. I feel like my future's a little brighter. Maybe my knees don't hurt as much anymore.
We can get up a little.
But, yeah, I'm really excited to just see what the future has in store for me, while also me giving it push.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like I was saying earlier, you can manifest all you want, but there has to be some action behind it. And really, this for the people at home as well. Like, if you have this like creative pursuit or whatever it is that you want to do, absolutely write it down, manifest it. But you also have to put action behind it, because if you don't, all it is just going to be dreams in your head. And that's it. And dreams in your head don't really mean much if it's not being implemented into your real life.
That is facts. I just always wanted to be famous. I wanted to do something. I wanted to have some notoriety. Not really like the fortune, but definitely the fame, just for funsies.
Comment down below. What are your dreams? Put it out there into the world. Like, what do you want to do with your life?
Write it down now. Look back on it in a year.
Yes.
See the progress you've made, or the progress you haven't made, or
if you do something completely different. It don't matter. There you go.
Because last year at this time, did not know. Did not know I'd be on this podcast.
100%. All right, now y'all, tune in next time, because Adriana's going to be watching Heated Rivalry. We're going to have a bonus episode where she can go over her thoughts.
I'm excited to do something.
All right. Well, as you all know, thank you for joining the chat, and have a good one.
See you next time.
Bye.